All right, so we're diving into electron beams today.
Definitely a fascinating area.
Yeah, and we've got this feasibility study. It's really interesting. Looking at it from different angles, you've got plastics and polymers,
Right.
food irradiation, even medical sterilization, all in one facility.
It's pretty remarkable how versatile electron beams are.
It really is. It's like, who knew you could,
Yeah.
zap bacteria in your lunch and sterilize surgical tools with the same technology?
Well, it speaks to their ability to modify materials at a molecular level,
Okay.
and then to obliterate bacteria, you just kind of like ramp up the energy a bit.
Okay, so how does this feasibility study address that? Can one facility really do all that?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
Can you cater to all these markets effectively?
All right, so let's look at the numbers first.
Okay.
This study outlines a capital investment of somewhere between $3 million and $10 million.
Wow.
That's a significant investment.
Yeah. And the big ticket item,
Yeah.
a whopping $1 to $5 million just for the electron beam accelerator.
Oh, wow.
You're going to need a serious warehouse for that thing.
It's the heart of the operation for sure.
Yeah.
It's generating this focused beam of high-energy electrons.
Okay.
And you can tailor the energy level to match the specific application.
So,
Lower energy for tweaking plastics, higher energy for sterilization.
oh, so it's like a Swiss Army knife
Kind of like that, yeah.
for the microscopic world.
Exactly.
But even with the coolest Swiss Army knife, you've got to pay the bills, right?
Of course, operational costs are always a factor.
So this study estimates annual operating costs between $600,000 and $1.1 million.
Okay.
Labor energy.
Right.
Ever tried to picture how much juice it takes to fire electrons at near light speed?
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot.
It makes you appreciate your electricity bill a bit more.
For sure.
So where does all that energy go?
Well, a big chunk of that energy cost goes straight to powering that massive accelerator.
Right.
But those operating costs tend to be fairly predictable.
Okay.
The revenue from each of these sectors can be a bit more volatile.
Oh, okay.
Plastics might be booming one year, then food irradiation takes the lead the next.
It's a balancing act.
You could say that.
All right, so let's talk about the revenue projections.
Okay, the fun part.
This study is pretty optimistic,
Yeah.
with total revenue potentially hitting $12 to $20 million by year 5.
That has
I mean, I'm already picturing what to do with those profits.
Hold on now.
Okay.
Those are projections, not guarantees.
Right, of course.
The actual success depends on a lot of factors.
Like what?
Market demand, competition, and how well a facility can secure contracts in each sector.
Yeah, what if one of those industries takes a hit?
Exactly. The high-growth scenario could become less certain.
You're right. It's important to be realistic.
Absolutely.
So let's look at the profitability analysis.
Okay, break it down.
This study suggests breaking even within 2 to 3 years.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that seems promising.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the IRR, the internal rate of return.
Right, a key metric.
It's essentially a measure of how efficiently your money is working for you.
Yep, and in this case,
And here it's looking at a range of 15% to 18%.
that was impressive.
That's not just good, it's stellar.
Sure.
The average stock market return is closer to 10%.
Right, so this is potentially a much more lucrative investment.
Yeah, so this could be big.
It's looking that way.
But we also need to consider the payback period.
Which is estimated at 4.5 years.
Yeah, that's the time it takes to recoup that initial investment. So while the long-term outlook is bright, it's not an instant moneymaker.
It takes time.
All right, so let's talk cash flow, because that's where the rubber meets the road.
Absolutely. Cash flow is king.
The projections show a positive trend
Okay.
towards increasing profitability over time, especially in the high-growth scenario, with the potential to break even in just 2 years.
But remember,
Yeah.
that relies on really strong performance across all three sectors.
Yeah.
And that high-growth scenario,
Mm-hmm.
it assumes the facility can grab a big slice of the pie in each market.
Okay.
Now, the low-growth scenario,
Yeah.
it's a bit more conservative,
Uh-huh.
but it still shows a path to profitability.
Okay, so even with slower growth,
Yes.
it can still be profitable.
Exactly. It speaks to the potential resilience of this business model.
So we've got a business with a hefty upfront investment,
Mm,
but a tantalizing potential for profit,
for sure.
especially given the diverse applications of this technology.
What are your initial thoughts on all this?
I mean, it's definitely interesting, but
Yeah.
it's complex.
There's a lot to unpack,
There are a lot of moving parts.
a lot of factors to consider.
It's not just about the science, it's about market dynamics consumer perception,
Right.
and a whole lot of regulatory hurdles.
It's like assembling a puzzle with some missing pieces.
It feels like that, yeah.
What stands out to me is the emphasis on those high-growth projections. While it's tempting to get swept up in the excitement of those potential returns,
Yeah.
we need to be realistic about the assumptions behind them.
Yeah, what if market adoption is slower than anticipated?
Exactly.
Ah.
Or what if a competitor emerges with a cheaper process?
So we need to stress test those projections.
Absolutely explore the what-ifs.
Right, build in those worst-case scenarios.
Like building a bridge, you don't just design for the average load, you factor in the extremes.
I like that analogy.
It's about ensuring it can withstand the pressure.
And this feasibility study, while comprehensive,
Yeah,
it doesn't dive too deeply into the marketing and sales strategy for each sector.
it's a good point.
It's one thing to have a fantastic technology, but it's
Okay.
another thing entirely to convince potential customers to choose electron beams over existing solutions.
You got to get the word out.
How are we going to reach those customers? What message will resonate with them?
It's like having a gourmet meal prepped, but forgetting to send out the invitations.
Yeah, you can have the best food in the world, but if nobody shows up,
Exactly.
it's all for nothing.
And another area that warrants a closer look is the regulatory landscape.
Yeah, the study mentions compliance.
Uh-huh. But it's vague,
Right?
especially in the food and medical industries where safety and public trust are paramount.
Yeah.
Navigating those regulatory mazes can be a real headache,
It's like adding another layer to our puzzle.
full of intricate details and potential roadblocks.
But let's step back for a moment
Okay.
and think about the bigger picture.
The big why.
Even with all these complexities, there's something undeniably exciting about the potential of electron beams.
Absolutely.
This technology really has the power to transform industries, improve lives, and maybe even contribute to a more sustainable future.
I agree.
Imagine a world where we can modify materials without harsh chemicals,
Wow.
preserve food without wasteful packaging.
And sterilize medical equipment with speed and precision.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
It's like we're holding a key that can unlock a whole new set of possibilities.
And as we've discussed, the applications outlined in this study might just be the tip of the iceberg.
Who knows what other challenges electron beams could tackle in the future?
Right, maybe we'll be using them to purify water, develop new energy sources, or even explore the frontiers of space.
The possibilities are endless.
It's mind-blowing.
This feasibility study provides a roadmap,
Yeah.
but it's up to you to decide where that road leads.
So to our listener, as you continue your journey into the world of electron beams, remember this. You're not just evaluating a business opportunity. You're stepping into a realm of possibilities,
A realm where science meets imagination,
where challenges spark ingenuity.
and where the potential to make a real impact is immense.
Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep that sense of wonder alive.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to unlock the next groundbreaking application of this remarkable technology.
It's exciting stuff.
The future of electron beams is, in many ways, still unwritten.
Well said. It's been an incredible deep dive.
I've enjoyed our conversation.
Me too. And we hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have.
Until next time.
Keep exploring and keep diving deep.
It's worth noting that even in that low-growth scenario,
Yeah.
the model still predicts
Yeah.
revenue reaching between $12 million and $15 million by year 5.
Definitely not chump change. But
Well,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We need to dig a little deeper into each of these sectors.
yeah,
Understand what makes electron beams so special
right.
and what potential challenges they might face.
Let's break it down.
So let's start with plastics and polymers.
Okay.
What kind of applications are we talking about here?
Well, imagine you could take a plastic, like a flimsy grocery bag,
Okay.
and you zap it with an electron beam.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly it's tough enough to carry a gallon of milk
Wow.
without ripping.
So it's like giving these materials superpowers.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. And the study mentions applications in everything from packaging to automotive parts, even electronics.
Exactly. The possibilities are pretty vast.
So where do electron beams have an edge over other methods?
Well, they can modify materials without using harsh chemicals
Oh, okay.
or generating excessive heat.
So that's a win for the environment
Definitely.
and for manufacturers looking for more efficient processes.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's move on to food irradiation.
Okay.
I know this has been a bit of a hot button topic.
Right. Some people are wary of zapping their food.
What does this study say about its potential and safety?
Well, it emphasizes the growing demand
Uh-huh.
for safer and longer-lasting food.
Okay.
And electron beam irradiation offers a pretty compelling solution.
How so?
It can eliminate bacteria, viruses, and insects in food,
Really?
all without altering its taste or nutritional value.
Wow.
And it doesn't leave behind any radioactive residue.
So it's like a super sanitizing process?
You could say that.
Helps prevent foodborne illnesses and reduces waste.
Exactly. And in a world struggling with food security,
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
What about the regulatory side of things?
Well, it's important to note that food irradiation is already approved
Okay.
by regulatory bodies in many countries,
Including the U.S.?
including the United States.
Okay. Good to know.
So the regulatory landscape is relatively favorable.
All right, now let's talk about medical sterilization.
Okay.
How do electron beams compare to other methods in this sector?
They're incredibly efficient.
Oh.
They can sterilize medical devices and equipment quickly and effectively.
So that's perfect for things like syringes, implants, even pharmaceuticals.
Exactly. Speed and efficiency are critical in the medical world.
For sure.
And here's another advantage.
Yeah.
Electron beam sterilization is a cold process.
What does that mean?
It doesn't rely on heat,
Okay.
which is crucial for sensitive medical products that could be damaged by high temperatures.
So we're talking about a precise, targeted, and gentle sterilization method. It seems like a perfect fit for the demands of the medical industry.
And with the constant advancements in medical technology, the need for reliable sterilization methods will only grow.
Okay, so we've covered the potential upsides in each sector, but we also need to be realistic about the challenges.
Right. Every rose has its thorns.
What are some of the key risks and uncertainties highlighted in this study?
Well, competition is a major factor.
Of course.
There are other sterilization methods and material modification technologies out there
Right.
vying for market share.
So this business would need to differentiate itself.
Absolutely.
Highlight the unique benefits of electron beams.
Right. And nail its sales and marketing strategy.
So it's not just about having the coolest technology.
Right.
It's about convincing customers
Mm-hmm.
that electron beams are the best solution for their needs.
Understanding their pain points and crafting a compelling value proposition.
What else should we be aware of?
The study points to potential fluctuations in energy prices.
Ah,
Remember that Accelerator is a bit of an energy hog.
yeah.
If electricity costs spike, it could impact operating costs.
And eat into those profit margins.
Exactly. Energy prices are notoriously unpredictable.
Anything else that raises a red flag?
Well, navigating regulatory hurdles
Okay.
and permitting requirements.
Especially in industries like food and medical,
Yeah, where safety and compliance are paramount.
right?
Obtaining the necessary permits and certifications could take time.
And add unexpected costs.
Precisely.
So it's not just about building the facility and flipping the on switch.
It's more complicated than that.
There's a whole layer of regulatory complexity to consider.
Absolutely.
And what about the workforce?
Ah, yes, the people.
This technology requires specialized knowledge
For sure.
to operate and maintain.
So finding and retaining skilled personnel is going to be crucial.
That's right. Labor costs aren't just about salaries. It's
Wow.
about attracting and keeping talent.
Absolutely. Investing in training and development.
Anything else on the risk radar?
Well, the study touches upon potential public perception issues.
Mm-hmm.
While food irradiation has been proven safe,
Mm-hmm.
there can be a stigma attached to it.
Right.
Some consumers might be hesitant to embrace products
Yeah.
that have been treated with irradiation.
Even if it means safer and longer lasting food.
Right. So addressing those concerns
Yeah.
and educating the public
Mm-hmm.
could be an ongoing challenge.
It's a reminder that consumer psychology plays a big role in the success of any product.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes the biggest hurdle isn't the science itself,
Right.
but overcoming preconceived notions.
So how do we address that?
Well, that's where effective communication and transparency become vital.
You've been poring over this study.
I have.
What are your initial impressions?
It's fascinating.
Yeah,
But complex.
definitely.
Are any specific areas jumping out at you?
Well, honestly, the more we dig into this,
Yeah.
the more complex it becomes.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
We've got this incredible technology with the potential to revolutionize multiple industries.
It's game-changing stuff.
But there are also a lot of moving parts.
A lot of potential pitfalls to consider.
It's not just about the science.
No.
It's about market dynamics, consumer perception,
Right.
and a whole lot of regulatory hurdles.
Yeah, it really is a lot to think about.
It feels like we're trying to juggle like a bunch of different balls at the same time.
It is a balancing act.
What really stands out to me is the emphasis on those high growth projections. It's tempting to get caught up in the excitement.
Oh, yeah. Those numbers look great.
Right. But we need to be honest about the assumptions behind them.
Exactly. What if things don't go as planned?
Right. What if market adoption is slower than anticipated?
Or what if a competitor comes in with a cheaper process?
So we need to look at those projections carefully.
Definitely.
Explore those what-if scenarios.
Stress test them.
Exactly.
Make sure they hold up.
And this feasibility study,
Yeah.
while it's thorough, it doesn't really dive into the marketing and sales strategy.
You're right. It kind of glosses over that.
It's one thing to have the technology.
Yeah.
But how do you convince customers to actually buy it?
You got to get the word out. Got to make the sale. It's like having a great product, but no marketing plan.
Yeah, nobody's going to know about it.
And another area that needs more attention is the regulatory landscape.
The study mentions compliance, but it's vague.
It is. It doesn't go into specifics.
Right, and especially in food and medical.
Industries are heavily regulated.
Safety and public trust are so important.
Navigating all those regulations can be a nightmare.
It really can.
It's like a whole other layer of complexity.
But let's step back for a minute.
Okay.
And think about the bigger picture.
The potential.
Yeah, even with all these complexities, there's something really exciting about electron beams.
Oh, absolutely.
This technology could really transform industries.
It could improve lives.
It could contribute to a more sustainable future.
The possibilities are huge.
Imagine a world where we can modify materials without harsh chemicals.
Wow.
Preserve food without wasteful packaging.
Sterilize medical equipment quickly and safely.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
This study is just the beginning.
The tip of the iceberg.
Who knows what other applications we'll find for electron beams in the future?
Right. Maybe water purification, new energy sources.
Like even space exploration.
It's mind-blowing.
So this feasibility study gives us a starting point.
Yeah, a roadmap.
But it's up to us to explore where it leads.
To see what's possible.
To our listener, as you delve deeper into electron beams, remember this.
Yeah.
It's not just about numbers and projections.
It's about possibilities.
It's about science and imagination.
It's about solving problems and making a real impact.
Keep asking questions. Keep exploring.
And keep that sense of wonder alive.
Maybe you'll be the one to discover the next groundbreaking application for electron beams.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It really has.
And we hope you've enjoyed the journey with us.
Until next time.
Keep exploring. Keep diving deep.